Hi there. I'm going to show you a short and effective sequence to help open up your hip flexors if you have a desk job where you have to sit a lot, or if you drive a lot, driving kids to all their activities and then sitting to watch their activities. So I'm going to show you a quick, simple yet effective couple of poses in yoga can help open up the front of your hips, which tend to get shortened when we sit all the time. If you have yoga blocks, they can help support your practice. If you don't, that's okay. You can use a stool or just your wall or a little chair. So I always like to start my practice with a bit of breathing. And because I don't want to sit anymore, I've been having a bit of a hip flexor injury myself. I'm going to start my breathing in kneeling. You can stand if your knees aren't happy. So I'm just going to shut down my eyes. So go ahead and join me. Shut down your eyes and take a few breaths here. Just grounding into the earth and feeling your body and your breath. Just calming that nervous system. We spend so much of our day in go, go, go mode. And here's our opportunity just to be with our body. And drop those shoulders away from the ears. Just notice any tension that you may have. See if you can melt it away. All right, so we'll take the blocks if you have them. If not, your hands can be on the ground or on two stable chairs. And we're going to stretch the right hip flexor first. I'm going to put my left foot between my hands or my blocks and start to sink my hips forward like that. And already you might feel a bit of a stretch. And if you don't, you can come up a bit higher. So the more upright your torso, the better you'll feel that kind of hip stretch. And you want to feel a good stretch, not a sharpness or like that painful stretch. So discomfort is okay. And sort of that fuzzy feeling, but not a sharpness in the stretch. And if you squeeze your glutes in the back, it'll help open up the front a bit more. Okay, and then if you can reach those arms up and pull your right arm a little bit towards that left side of body. And you'll feel an opening, kind of like if you feel your hip crest, you'll feel almost like your ribs are like expanding away from that hip crest. So that's kind of getting into that higher part of the hip flexor. And a little bit in your obliques too. Take big breaths. Good job. Let's do one more full breath here. Good, and then we'll float our arms down, and we're actually going to tuck the toes up now. So now you're on your back toes. And we're going to come up to a crescent lunge or just a lunge. And again, we're going to just try to make sure your hips aren't turning. You're square to your yoga mat. And you can reach your arms up. And this is a similar stretch, but a little different because our knee is off the ground. A little bit more active. We're just going to gently pull, again, that right arm towards that left side. Try to breathe into that stretch. See if you can aim your heart up and left, okay? Getting into all those tissues and fascia. Fascia is like this spider web looking organ or structure that's between your layer of skin and muscle. Really important to keep the fascia gliding and healthy. Fascia can also produce pain. So we just want to make sure it's nice and open. Good. And then we're going to take our hands down if you need a bit of support on that wall or your chair. We're going to turn the foot on a 45-degree angle. So my right toes are facing the top right corner of my yoga mat. This left leg is bending. And now I'm just going to be gentle here because I do have a bit of a right hip injury. And my hips are still trying to be square to the front of the mat, but it's even more open now because before we're up in our back toes, right? And now my foot is grounded. And I'm not gonna force it, but my hip bones, I'm trying to get them square to the front of the mat. And then I'm gonna go ahead and again, lift my arms up, hard up, chest up, breathe. And then see if I can curl over one more time. So I'm kind of in that warrior one pose now, right? We went from half kneeling to a crescent lunge, and now in a warrior one. And while we're stretching the leg, we're also strengthening. So it's kind of cool because we're in a lengthened position, but still weight bearing and still demanding the muscle to hold us up and be strong. So that's actually really great for injury prevention. Okay, being able to lengthen and strengthen at the same time. Really good for that. Let's take another full breath here. Beautiful. And then exhale. I'm going to come down to my start position. If your start position was standing, go ahead. Or if you were sitting, go ahead. I was in kneeling, so I'm going to come back and just feel my breath one more time before I do the other side. I'm going to feel my hips, feel my body. Maybe one side, because we really work one side, you may feel a bit of warmth or heat, or just a small difference. We're just here to be aware and just observe. Being open and curious about our bodies. Okay, so let's try the other side. So I'm going to place my right foot up. I'm going to let my hips drop forward, and you can see, well, maybe not, but I can feel my left side is much different, and that's okay. You're going to feel, you know, probably your one side is tighter or easier. It's just, you know, you have leg dominance, or if you have an activity that you do that tends to be, maybe you're a curler. If you're curling, you lunge with one leg, that side's going to obviously be tighter. So just like subtly noticing these things. And then if you do this practice again, go ahead, hold the tighter side for a bit longer. You know, you can definitely play with that to open up the tighter side of your body. Good. Let's float those arms down. We're going to take it up off the ground, right? And this time we're coming to crescent lunge, holding the hips square to the front of the mat, reaching those arms up. And then because we're doing the left hip flex to the left front of hip, we're going to take the left wrist. I'm holding my left wrist with my right fingers and curling my side body open on that left side, and then a little bit up with the heart towards the right. Feeling that rib cage trying to leave my left hip. Nice deep breaths into that side body. Feeling that through my front of right hip. Good. And then if you need support, go ahead and hold something. If not, just go ahead and turn that foot down. So my left toes are pointed at the top left corner of the mat. So my foot feels like about a 45-degree angle. I'm going to bend my right leg as much as I can, and then trying to not open all the way. So your hips are still trying to be square-ish to the mat. It's okay if you're a little bit trimmed because it's really tight, but you're trying to get your hips square to the mat. Ground your back foot on the outside of the foot so you protect your knee. Okay, and then we're opening like the groin almost. So it's the front of the hip, but it's also like that fold in the groin on that left side. And then reaching those arms up, hard up, chest up. And again, option to pull the left hand a little bit over if you feel like you have space for that opening. Good, one more full breath in our warrior one, strength and length. Good job, you guys. And then we're going to float those arms down. Go back to your start position. Mine was kneeling, so here I am. Take a couple of grounding breaths here. Maybe send your legs and your body and your yourself some gratitude for showing up and taking the time to do a practice. Even though it was small, baby step, everything counts. Every little bit counts, and good work. I'll see you in the next one.